Hello and welcome to Flippin Live, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview live stream. And today, what am I doing? Hold on, let me make sure that, gotta hide that. Let's make sure that that live stream doesn't pop open when I switch things. Anyway, guys, great to have you here. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening. I don't need these really right now. I might need them later though. Make sure right now, if you're watching, to hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below. That is the #1 way that you can support this YouTube channel and help it to continue to grow. And let's not forget that I sure do appreciate it. All right. So, and it's costs nothing to you. It's free. If you want to support me in another way, patreon.com/flippinthrough. Link should be down in the description. And you could also become a channel member. Link also should be down there. Or there might be some type of button or something down there. What do you get if you support me on Patreon? Well, you get a 6 set of stickers. That's a guarantee. Any amount that you give me on Patreon will get you a 6 set of stickers. I also have buttons, and I also have stencils. Great for defacing both public and private property. On YouTube, channel membership comes with, well, only one perk, really, and that is that you get the videos right away. You can get them instantly. The moment I upload them, you will get them. And be able to watch them. No more waiting till Saturday, assuming that I remember to do a video, which I didn't this week. I was busy and I failed to do so. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. These are the people whom I get to thank for their support today. Me too. Oh wait, no. Okay, I forgot. I did this whole thing while I was supposed to be doing my spiel. I was going to do this. As I talked about how you could support me on Patreon or become a channel member of this channel on YouTube. This is my other way. What do you guys think of this? I like it. I think visually it's nice. I think that, sorry, I'm coming down with something. I spent all day in the cold. More about that later. Anyway, I like that it's Comic Sans. And I like that it takes up the whole thing. So you guys tell me what you think of that. Let me see. I gotta pop this out so I can actually see what people in the chat are saying, because it doesn't really show up. Doesn't really show up otherwise. Anyway, hey, you guys have joined me today. Who's watching right now? We got 9 people watching. If you guys haven't, make sure hit that thumbs up button. Okay. Good evening, Vanessa. Vanessa's here. Harvey Esquire, hello to you. ID Saldivar 9228. What's up, out of Washington State? What's up? I've never seen you here before, so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for dropping a message in the chat. And Sketchyworks saying hello. All right, yeah, everybody tell me the degrees where it is for you right now. I don't know if I ever told you guys this. One of my hobbies is rock climbing. And so I drove down like an hour outside of Minneapolis, my hometown, is a place called Red Wing, Minnesota. You know them because their boots, Red Wing boots, are from Minnesota. And there's like bluffs there. So I went down there to do some climbing. And it was, I don't know, like 40 degrees when I got there. I think it got up to 50, but it was windy. It was like the sun came out every once in a while, and that was okay. But I was already borderline sick, so like staying out in the windy cold like that was probably not a good idea. But I had a good time. So 62 degrees, 78 degrees. These are like, that's nice weather. All right, especially this time of year. I'd be tickled pink. What's the temperature right now? See, you guys actually got me legitimately talking about the news or the weather right now. Let's see. Oh, my weather app. I don't know how to find my Flippin' weather app. All right, let's see. Oh, right now it is 52 degrees. So how about that? I like rock music. Forget rock climbing. Well, I don't. Well, why not both, man? Why not both of those things? Um, so today, what do I have planned today? I got another mail call. This time I got two packages in the mail. And listen, I don't normally get this much mail, so don't worry. It's not going to now turn into like some huge, just me opening things from viewers, okay? I don't anticipate any more packages after this. So we're going to open those up, and then we're going to move on to some stuff. I have a video. I'm going to try some new things here today. One was this. Obviously, you guys know this. This is new, right? The other new thing that I'm trying is if I want to watch a video, I don't know how to test this. So hopefully it doesn't do echoing. Hopefully you guys can hear it. I think I set it up right. If I didn't, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip over the table or something if it doesn't work. So yeah, there's that. Remember, oh, look at this. Yankee Blues Preacher 9102, fellow flippers of the Through-niverse unite. Wait, what was the thing? Was it when Doug Guilford was on? Somebody came up with a name for people who watch Flippin' Through, and it wasn't flippers. It was like, I forget what it was. Honk steady. Hello, how do you do? Anyway, somebody will have to remind me of it. Okay, so I got my box opener. Let's switch to overhead view. Actually, I'm going to do this. Do this, and then this, and then this. There we go. Oh, where am I? There I am. I'm still trying to figure out a good thing. This kind of bugs me actually. Like mini me right here in the thing. I don't know why, but just kind of bugs me. I'm going to open this one first. This is a single issue. This is a single issue that I'm receiving. I actually forget which issue it is. But we'll find out together. This is all because of, you know, people are generous, man. And I try to pass that generosity on as best I can. As I am. God, this is not good at cutting plastic. Hold on, I'm going to do this off camera. Wish I had one of those things. God, this. What the hell? What the hell? God. Oh, there you go. I just needed the right angle. Anyway, this is from Dougie G. So I'm being careful not to show his address. Let me see. Is there a note? He did not put a note in. Now, this is, when he was on the other day, or a couple weeks ago, we were talking about my collection and all of that, and his collection, which he had just said goodbye to, and how he has, like, he still has extra ones sitting around. And he said, hey, it looks like you're missing this one, because I was showing off my new chart. And so he said, I have that. Let me send it to you. Look at that. Mad Magazine number 20 man. Patrick. Oops, that's upside down. Patrick, enjoy. Doug. Look at that. You know what? I'm going to stick that up on my monitor. You know what I was going to ask him? This would be ridiculous. I was going to say, hey, Doug, why don't you sign it before you send it? It's probably best that he didn't, all right? What's boingo, boingo, boingo? Everything is so damn hard to open. Yeah, it is. Do not show address. It's dangerous. I show my address constantly, and so far nothing bad has happened. Never saw that cover. Wow, the spring issue. Yeah, this is pretty sick. You know what's cool? I'll actually zoom in. You'll see there's like little things on the springs. There's like these little guys all over. I don't know what they are, if they're like bed bugs or something, but this is beautiful. And of course, it has this this border, which is this border, all around it. Caricatures, medicine, people, satire, science. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Doug Guilford. Oops. Doug Guilford, thank you so much. This is I will cherish this. I'd like, this is, yeah, thank you. And now I got another big ass one. This is from Dean Jones. And look at this. This is what this is designed to cut. Packing tape. This was the knife of a World War II supply officer. No, he wasn't a supply officer. He was an airplane mechanic. Jeez Louise. I like this. I like the makeshift box made from another box. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. I got to do it because I got to like flip this over. Did anybody remember yet the flippin' through thing? Holy smokes. Oh. Hoyo. I didn't know this was coming. Look at that. Brother's Mad. Paperback book. This is one of them that I'm missing. Oh. What I got to do now? And this is a good problem to have. I get to go through and update. I get to update my spreadsheet. I'm not going to update my spreadsheet on the live stream. I think that might be too boring. Let's see, who's on this cover? This is Mad Magazine number 56. Is this Truman? Who's this? I don't know who that is. That looks like Ross Perot. This is Hubert H. Humphrey. That's a Minnesota boy right there. What is this, LBJ or something? I don't know. Who's this? Is this Al Jaffee? I don't know who this is. And this, of course, this handsome devil is Richard Nixon. This is a very cool cover. It's time for a laugh. Elect Neuman. We need a new man. We need Neuman. Tippecanoe and Neuman too. That's like an old one, right? Tippecanoe and Taylor too. I forget what that one was all about. But I'm sure it was scandalous. So we got Mad Magazine number 56. You guys, this is like, you have no idea how like important this is to this channel because I was running out of sub 100 issues to review. And this is going to last me a very long time. Here we have Mad Magazine number 112. Golly, look at that. We got like Giuseppe Neuman with King Kong. Right? That's King Kong. The number, oh, the middle finger issue. Oh no! You know what? Dean. This is like one of the greatest issues ever. I didn't have this filled out in my thing. I have this one, but I have it framed because I got one of their vault copies of this like years ago. They had a thing where it's like if you subscribe, we'll send you this issue that we, because this issue got pulled from the newsstand. And so they just had to take them and put them into the vault. I guess they didn't destroy them or anything. They had the sense that like, hey, maybe these are worth keeping. Anyway, so they gave away ones that had just been sitting in a vault. So the one I have is basically non-circulated. And so I framed it. So now I have two. This is beautiful. This is like this is top 10 Mad Magazine covers. Would that be a fun video doing like the top 10 Mad Magazine covers? Tippecanoe and Tyler too. November 2nd, and today is Day of the Dead in Mexico. Wasn't it yesterday, Day of the Dead? Let me look. Let me check my calendar. Saturday, November 1st. Sunday, November 2nd. Daylight savings time ends. Does not tell me if it's... Doesn't tell me anything about Mexican holidays, unfortunately. So I'll take your word for it. 241. Another beautiful cover. Is this George Woodbridge? It's on GW. Mad Magazine 241. This is beautiful, and it's in beautiful condition. Oh, look at that price, though. $1? $1 for Mad Magazine? In 10 years, it went from, what is it, 40 cents up to $1. What does that tell you? What I don't know. I don't know what it tells me. Here we have Mad 263. When they were doing the barcode gags, they held on to that for so long. And it is one of my favorite things. It really, they were the ones who invented, like now people always do this cute shit with barcodes. Like Mad Magazine invented that. They started that whole thing. They really did. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Stop. Shut up. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to go to my browser. Okay. So I had 241. Boom. 241. Price $1. Okay. 263. 1.35. Oh, shoot. Okay. I was like, wait, I got all of them now. Oh, yeah, 277. Hold on. Overhead. 277. Okay. 277. What price is that? 1.5. 279. 0.5. Okay, hold on. This is an iconic cover. I love this cover. And I love this spray painted Mad. It just looks, it's beautiful. I wonder if Weird Al, when he was young, read this and was like, oh, I made the cover. Another Lemon issue. Again, just a beautiful, iconic cover. The only thing I would do is like erase this, not have that text, and not have that text. And I think it would be a perfect cover. And here we have 281. Is this the first example of Alfred E. Neuman in blackface? When I actually do my top 10 list of Alfred E. Neuman race swaps, this is going to be one of them, I think. Okay, check this out. 281, 1.5. Boom. 200. I got them all, baby. Now obviously, this is going to take a while. This I just have the two issues. And then I just got freaking more of those. More echoes. Oh, you get echoes right now. Now there are no echoes. Yeah, honk steady. Thank you so much, dude. Overhead. Oh, this is great. Wait, I got to put these aside, though. Since I've already entered them. I still have like a stack. I still have all of the ones from last time. I didn't get around to entering them into the database. Anyway, guys, thank you again. Thank you. Thank you, Honk Steady. Thank you, Dougie G. I really do appreciate it. I am bummed out, though, to hear that there was echoing while I was on the web browser one, because what I was going to do next requires me to have that input on. So I might have to try. You know what I might try is I'll try to I'm going to try this anyway, and then what I'll do is I just won't talk, or I'll like mute this. I don't know. We'll see. How bad was the echoing? Anyway, echo. Oh man, so much echoes. All right. Anyway, guys, we have 13 people watching right now. Pretty pleased with Sugar on Tape. Make sure, hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below. 5 people have liked, and there's 13 people watching. Some of you aren't listening. Probably Honk Steady and Harvey Esquire. Probably those two haven't given this video a thumbs up. All right, I thought, I forget who sent this to me, but somebody sent this. And we're going to try this. Watch this. This is a new thing, okay? Watch this, guys. I go over. Look at that. Isn't that charming? Those lights flickering in the background. Watch this. Boom. What do you think of that, huh? That's kind of cool. God damn it. What's going on here? I don't need this like this. I don't want, okay, perfect. Now I can do this. I can watch something, and it's tiny. I'm still here, but I think it'll be big enough. But this is Sergio Aragones on the comic book greats with Stan Lee in, what is it, 1991. Have you guys seen this? Me Too Big said I was number 1. Thank you, Me Too Big, for giving that a thumbs up. Have you guys seen this one, though? Sergio Aragones on the comic book greats with Stan Lee. I thought this would be fun to watch. So, we're going to try a few things. I'm going to have to do this. Can you guys, am I echoing? And then can you hear it though? Some sick music. Oh, there's a whooshing sound. Listen, guys, there's gonna be some hiccups. All right, is that better? Does the sound better at that one? I sure hope so.
Hi, heroes. This is Stan Lee, but that's no excuse.
Excelsior! This is Stan Lee. Hello, this is Stan Lee, fellow comic book enthusiasts.
I have a real treat in store, I think, for you, and I think mainly for me, because my guest is someone whom I've known for years, but I've never had enough time to really talk to. And I finally pinned him down, and he's going to be a captive of mine for the next hour or whatever it'll be. He's not only one of the most talented guys in our business, and in fact, in almost any business, but he's one of the most likable, one of the most humorous,
it's like,
and I don't want to embarrass him, so
it's
let's
weird
get right to it. I want you to meet
not quite
Sergio
an interview.
Aragones. Hiya, Sergio.
It's not quite an interview, but it is an interview. So it's like, was this on ABC or something? I don't know. I mean, if you guys know, tell me in the chat. Also, is the volume better? You guys are bitching about it, and then you don't give me feedback.
Great having you here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And now it's up to you. I can relax and have a good time.
Very good. Welcome to the show.
Listen, I guess it's my job to ask you some questions. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't know that you're one of the world's cleverest and fastest cartoonists, that you've been drawing for mad, and you also write the things you draw for years.
Okay, I do have a question about this. How popular was Sergio? 1991. How big was Mad and how well known was Sergio? I didn't know Gru. That's not saying anything, okay? Like, I'm just saying I wasn't aware of Gru. I only knew Sergio from Mad Magazine. And I had no idea that he drew so quickly. It looks like Mallrats era. Well, it's 91, so it's not far off from Mallrats era. But yeah.
You've been doing Gru for Marvel, other things. We'll learn about all of them. But let's first find out about your childhood. I think everybody wants to know how people got started, where they were born, what they did. So your earliest memories.
Oh, my earliest memories are, well, I was born in Spain, and that was during the Spanish Civil War. So my family emigrated, first to France, which I went to school there.
You speak French too, don't you?
Yes, yes. And then from France we went to Mexico. And when I arrived to Mexico, I didn't speak any Spanish. So being afraid of going out with the kids, I stayed a lot at home.
Wow, how old were you then?
4 or 5. And then when you are alone at home, you draw and you tell yourself stories. And I think when my earliest recollections has been a paper and pen and ink. It's always drawing all the time since I remember. Yep.
You taught yourself to draw. You didn't study formally, did you?
No. I don't think myself as an artist.
It was very interesting to me. I've only watched like 10 minutes or so of this. I just wanted to like get a feel for it. I didn't know that he was self-taught. I would have never guessed that. I feel like, I don't know, like self-taught artists are like, I don't know, Kyle Bridget we were talking once about Duck Edwing. He was like, Duck Edwing strikes me as somebody who's like self-taught. Because like self-taught artists like do things that don't quite make sense. Like when I draw, I do things that don't quite make sense because I don't know any of the rules. And so, yeah, I don't know. That's like, he's incredible for being self-taught.
I never went to art school. I like to tell stories, and the only way I could tell it was drawing them. So I think I'm a writer that draws instead to be an artist complete.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how to paint. Everything has been through development. When I want to draw something, I have to look how it looks and then practice it until it comes out right. Then I can draw it.
You know, it's very interesting.
What's very interesting, Stan, if you don't mind me interrupting, is that he said, I view myself as a writer who draws. I think that's pretty cool. Especially thinking about, I mean, that it sort of makes sense. I mean, like there's some irony in it. Like what he's best known for in Mad Magazine requires no words, but it still requires writing. Yeah. I think he has to be able to express that through his drawings.
Say that because most people who see Sergio's artwork, they see his cartooning, they think of him as a cartoonist or as an artist, and they feel someone else is doing the writing. But all these ideas are Sergio's. In other words, he writes what he wants to draw. He's created it himself in something like Gru. Someone else puts the words in, but the story is yours.
Yes. Well, even going a little farther back, I come from a pantomime background. Mostly all the cartoons I do without words. Even when I was in Mexico drawing cartoons, we'll talk a little more about that. When I went into comics, I started writing comics of all things, but not speaking English correctly, much less writing because I never learned English in school. I have always need somebody to help me with the dialogue.
Yeah.
And so in the case of Gru, I write the stories, and then with a very excellent writer, he's Mark Evanier, he corrects all my language. We go through some gags, and he edits, and he does a lot of work. He writes all the poetry. But I do write the
You know,
stories.
speaking of
That's like, I didn't really know with like his, obviously I know that he worked with Mark Evanier, but I didn't really know the nature of their relationship in that, like with him doing the poems and then Sergio writing everything else. I guess I thought Sergio wrote Gru, so there's that, but anyway, I might fast forward this a little bit. Vanessa says, be aware of Venus Angelic. She's crazy. If you heard of the YouTuber, sorry, Venus. And Harvey Esquire responds, okay? Sometimes it takes me a while to get a marginal gag that took him 10 seconds to come up with.
language, I don't know if you...
Wrong button. That actually reminded me. So he was talking about like the pantomime. That's, I think, what makes him so effective with the nonverbal stuff, because his drawings are so expressive. And you know, he's like, he's a good writer, he's a funny writer, and his drawings are expressive. So he can draw like these wordless or nonverbal comics so very well and be so successful at it. I feel like, I mean, that's like the beauty, what you're talking about the marginal. Sometimes they do fall flat, sometimes they fail. But I mean, think about that. That's like like less than a panel, right? He only has like, you know, he sometimes is telling a story with something that would be like a one-panel cartoon. And yeah, sometimes they don't work out, but they're still remarkable because you can usually figure them out.
You know this, Sergio speaks 5 languages. Confuse you in 5 different languages.
And coming from a Latin background, all that related.
They're trying to
Incidentally,
see.
we have a couple of surprises for people later. We're going to see Sergio draw. We're saving that for the end because that's one of the best for last. Also, Sergio, you may have just mentioned a moment ago, I think he mentioned it very quickly, he had been a meme. And I hope...
This is the funniest part. Sergio had been a meme. Stan, surely you've heard of a mime, right? Like what? And now if you think like, well, you just misspoke, flipping through, give him a break.
We haven't rehearsed this. I hope I can twist his arm and get him to give us a little demonstration of his memeing ability.
He doubles down. Maybe we can get him to show us some of his memeing ability. Meme. It's like, what's funny though is like, this is in 91, and I heard meme, and I was like, they didn't have that word back then. It took me a second. Exactly, yeah, Harvey Esquire. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, meme. Surely they didn't have that word back then, and they didn't. That word is like a newer word, at least in the context that we use it. When did meme first? I might have to check. I'm almost certain that's like it's a new word. That being like a meme being like an idea that spreads.
I'm a little too fat for that already.
Well, when we get up and head toward the board, maybe you can do a little something.
The thing with the pantomime is when I was in college.
This is really cool.
I was in the theater group, and not because I wanted to become an actor. All my friends were actors, so I will go and wait for them after rehearsal. And they would say, Sergio, you are doing nothing, come and start acting. So I did that. But when Marcel Marceau came into town in Mexico, and one of his
Famous
people who was
meme.
in his tour was Alejandro Jodorowsky, which is an excellent writer.
Alexander Jodorowsky. He pronounced it Jodorowsky. That's like, that dude is amazing. That is a guy, what he worked on, the Inkle, all the Inkle books, the Meta Barons, Edina. Didn't he do Edina as well? An amazing writer. He worked with Mobius a lot, and without him, but a freaking good comic book writer for sure. And I guess he made some movies apparently.
Also, he writes comics and directs wonderful movies. Avant-garde director. He opened a pantomime school, so I figured out that for my drawings, it would be great to know pantomime, so I could understand physically what I wanted to draw. Right. So my entering to the pantomime school was more to learn the action that I wanted to describe on my drawings, but knowing them from inside instead of looking at a mirror or having to learn it. So I could
You could
control my
almost
body.
say that you learned to draw from the inside out.
That's right.
And I don't know what that means any more than you do.
Well, it has to do with equilibrium. If your characters are balanced, and if you know what the position is and what the actions are, knowing them yourselves, then you can portray them.
You know, it's an incredible thing.
That's okay. I've been like trying to learn stuff about drawing. And that like characters being balanced is something that like, I was always wondering why my characters look like shit. Like if I'll draw somebody walking and they don't look like they're walking, it just looks like, you know, it's like, it's because I can't balance them. Not yet. I will though. I will be able to balance them. And so like being like, you know, when you walk, like your whole body changes. It's not just your legs moving, like your trunk like tips forward, you know, you're basically like falling, right? And your legs are just like moving out and catching you again and again. Vanessa says, Cuban food sounds delicious, but I already ate. I had Indian food for dinner. I eat nothing but foreign food and food from home. Thank you. It almost sounds as if that's a different conversation that you're having with somebody else, and your microphone picked it up and sent it as a message in this chat. Thank you, Vanessa.
Because at first blush, you look at Sergio's cartoons, and they look so simple. But if you really study them, I'm glad you used the word balance. They are beautifully balanced and beautifully poised, and the layout and the rhythm of the figures is beautifully done. Now, he does it automatically. I mean, you don't think consciously of that.
Okay, here's something else. Is he wearing a wig? Like, look at the hairline. You see how, now look at my hairline, right? You see my hairline is like, it's inexact. That's what makes hairlines, you know, do you see that? Like there's little bits that are, it's not an even straight line. But look at his hairline. I think that's a wig. I think he's wearing a piece.
I mean, it just flows out of you, and it must be part of your meme background.
Well, it also has to do
Sergio has already said mime. He said miming. Stop calling it meme.
with when I'm telling a story, I transport myself there. So if I'm doing a street scene, I'm there. So I get into it, and I would like to see the vendors and the mud on the street and the dogs barking. So slowly, as I'm drawing, I'm figuring out the scene as if I was there.
Could we show a little of that from this Gru book? There are some great backgrounds in here, if the camera can catch that.
Yeah, he coined a new word, exactly.
Guess, well,
Or a new use. He retroactively
Okay.
coined a
Point out
new
the things
use
you're
for
well,
a new word?
I don't know what.
Which way should Gru hold the book? Okay,
See,
here we are.
This is like a fair, and if you start, you have the means.
I'm going to
they
fast
have
forward
small
through this
tab
because
with
it's like we
something.
What
can't,
about the
can't even
authentic
see
stuff?
it.
Like you have some boats there that are really beautifully drawn.
Well, humor doesn't mean there's a
He's talking, he had like this big Wimmel builder image in a Gru book. And then Stan just asked like, well, what about, look at, you have these like, you also have like these like really beautiful boats.
separation of dichotomy here in gag cartooning and comic book drawing. When you're doing a gag, like for Mad, you want total simplicity. You don't want anything
I have that book. That's a book of Mad Marginals.
that will disrupt from the gag. You want a gag that, when you look at it, boom, makes you laugh.
Right.
So any extra lines are not necessary. But because you see that the gag is only one gag. Next you pass something else has nothing to do with that. So your mind is clear of anything except the gag. You read it, it was clear, you laugh. Now when we're doing a comic, it is a storytelling. Now we want all the opposite. We want a lot of background. We want the people to feel that the character is moving in a particular place, that the ships belong to a particular era. Gru doesn't belong to any particular era because it's just a barbarian in a mythical world. So if I draw a ship that is a square rig, then people say, that's that particular period. So if you draw a Viking ship, then he's a Viking. So you have to take a little of everything and invent your own ship. But it has to work. They have to get a feeling that it's wind, that the ship is going someplace. that the character belongs there. So you create a little universe, but you have to fill it up with stuff. So
Listen, I've never been, I have like a few Gru comics. Gru never really captured my attention. If I don't know, I'd read a Gru book. Wait, maybe I do own a Gru book. I think I flipped through a Gru book. Where the hell's my Gru book? Anyway, it's somewhere. That's like, I don't know, I kind of like that. It's pretty impressive. Like he put that much thought into it about like what he had said about Gru is this barbarian in a mythical land, so you can't have a ship that can be pinned down to any sort of like culture or time. So he just borrows things from all cultures, all times. Obviously, except nothing in the modern time.
So people are comfortable, and the soldiers have to look like soldiers, and if he's a bad guy, he has to look like a bad guy, and the more you can add to it, the better.
You got to find that picture of the ship and show, because especially afterward, you probably don't know which book it's in now, and you're not going to be able to find it, and nobody's going to know what you were talking about.
Yes, it's in this one.
Attaboy.
This is the one with the slavers.
See, this is known as a little
He has a
dramatic
bunch of
interval to
drawings.
keep your interest up. There we are.
Well,
now look at that ship.
We see this?
You look at it and say, oh, there's no such a ship. You know, if you have a Latin sail, you don't have this type of ending. Of course not. But that's in purpose. It's not that, because then it will put the ship in a particular period of time.
But it looks real looking at it.
Well,
it's believable.
Also, one thing I do is before I start a story, if it's going to take place in a particular setting, I draw the plan first of it.
Plop. I need to get more issues of Plop. I feel like, I'm worried that I flipped through all of them, but then again, it's like I probably flipped through them like 3 years ago, so it might be worth just like going through them again. You get Plop, you have Basil Wolverton, you have Sergio Aragones, I forget who else you have. I just really remember Basil because he would do those like freaky creatures for the cover of Plop, for many of them at least. And then you also had like the old crone, right? Like in the right? Wasn't there like a witch character like playing off of the EC comics, like the Crypt Keeper and the Tomb Raider, whatever else they were named? Yeah, Plop is cool. Anyway.
Then I place the houses, and then where the mountain is going to be and where the action is going to take. I do a little schematic drawing.
What plops do I need?
And when I'm drawing my backgrounds, then I look where I have placed my
Can't take advantage of
then I know
you
what to do in the
anymore.
background without having to, what goes there?
I don't need any plops.
So I can follow it.
This is
a
a want.
It can be there because there's a mountain over there. Then I look and say, oh, that's a lot of fun. I really have, that's how I enjoy myself.
I think you probably enjoy drawing as much as anybody I've ever known. I think it's the most fun you feel you can have. Let me ask you this. You've been with MAD for many years.
Oh, here we go. MAD centric.
1962.
Yeah. How did you get started at MAD?
Well, I have already been working as a professional in Mexico for many years. And I have always gone to see what was happening all over the world. We get cartoons from Mexico, we get Argentina, Europe, the United States. And when I was, I didn't know that much English. I was trying to learn it. I read a lot of cartoons from Spanish background. And I always wanted to expand my horizons. I want to go to Europe and become a cartoonist over there because all my pantomime cartoons were more or less inspired by by French cartoonists. But I also love the comic books, and it was both routes to take. But I didn't know that much about comics. The only thing I knew about comics is the stories I made. So I decided that one day somebody told me how much money an American cartoonist made. You know, this is America, here I come. But what happened is that in Mexico, we were paid proportionate to what a syndicate gets paid for a cartoon. So you'll go to a Mexican magazine and it says, well, I want to get paid for this. It says, well, here is $1 because that's what we pay for this reprint from the best American cartoons.
Right.
So the only way was to come to the States, get your original pay, and then send your cartoon to Mexico and get your $1 back. So I came to the States looking for, and I had a lot of material already published in Mexico. I've been working for many years, all through school. And so when I arrived, it was very hard. I went to New York. I didn't know anybody, but nobody. And I had literally $18 in my pocket. So it was very scary.
I can't imagine that. I mean, it's one thing if you're like somebody who works in like a factory, or you could be like, I drive a forklift. You can get a job as a forklift driver. Like you know, I'm a carpenter and I'm moving to another country. Much less scary. It seems like it would be horrifying and just like so impossible to be like, I'm a professional cartoonist. And then have people be like, fucking where? You're like, Mexico. And they're like, so? That feels like that would be hard to break into. Versus people like, let's take Wally Wood, for instance, right? Wally Wood was a kid in Minnesota boy. He was working. He goes to New York. He starts work. He's not like a professional cartoonist, but he starts working in other people's studios. He makes the connections. He's very talented. He gets even more talented. And then he starts like working professionally under his own name and doing all of that stuff. But like you're an adult. You show up and you're like, I'm already a guy. Have you heard of me? I'm not a refuge from Cuba. So I don't have that to like help me get my foot in the door.
And one of the problems I had is that the word syndicate means union in Spanish, sindicato. So I figured out that to publish in the United States, you have to belong to the union.
Oh,
so because all the cartoons says syndicate, sindicato.
Yeah.
You know, so
and you thought they were all unionized.
Not only that, they would work as agents, sending you work around. So I keep going to the syndicates. It says, I want to belong to the syndicate.
Honk Steady, I think that's a really good idea. I want to get Dickie D on the show desperately. The only thing that is keeping me from doing that is just honestly, it's just sort of like self-confidence. That's not the exact word I want. I just feel like, I guess, like intimidated. I'm intimidated to do that. I've said many times, like, I don't know that much about Mad Magazine. I love Mad Magazine. I've read Mad Magazine, but I also don't have like the type of like institutional knowledge about Mad Magazine. So, I mean, maybe that would make for a better interview, but maybe it won't. Maybe it's like, maybe I'll be asking like the worst questions. I do have some questions that I want to ask him. Like, National Lampoon, in their write-up of Mad Magazine, accused them of faking letters in their letters department. And I want to know I want to know if that's true. I want to know if there's any truth to that. I want to know what they thought about that National Lampoon article. I want to know what Dave Berg was like. I want to know, I don't know. I want to know what they thought of Cracked. I want to know what William Gaines said about Cracked magazine. You are the number one, blah, blah, blah. No. Yeah, that's ironic. I started saying that when I had like 10 subscribers. I started saying that I'm the number one Mad Magazine news review and interview channel. But now it's actually like, I think I might actually be the largest one. But I started saying that ironically. So there is that. I would rather get a digital archive of Mad Mags that I could enjoy and see all of the details. Wait, I would rather get a digital archive of Mad Magazines that I could enjoy and see all the details. Oh, yeah. Well, like, I mean, you can get the CD-ROM one, right? And it has most of it. It has like 90% of the issues. Like, that's nice. What do you mean? I don't know. I guess I don't know what that's in reference to, Harvey. That's all. Anyway. I'm going to watch a little bit more of this.
So does everybody. But after a cartoonist I met says, no, Sergio, that's not how you work. You have to go to do the rounds. So I start learning the ways of how American cartoonists function.
And the $18 was starting to dwindle.
Oh, a long time they have gone. I was working in the village in a coffee house. I was reciting flamenco poetry in the village. So yes, doing anything to get some money.
Yeah.
At first I thought he was going to be like, I was working as a forklift driver.
But eventually, everybody says, well, your cartoons are very crazy. Why don't you go to MAD? You know? But I knew MAD. I have been a fan of MAD in Mexico, but I knew they didn't publish cartoons. They published satire.
That's right.
And incredible drawings. So I knew there was no way I could ever work there. But I had to do it because everybody says, you have to go to MAD. So when I went to MAD and they look at the cartoons, they saw it as an article. I had probably, I don't know, 40 gags about astronauts. So they took it and they made a 2-pager and says,
I know this.
well, we have bought 2 pages of gags
About astronauts.
about astronauts, so they call it a mad look at the United States space effort, something like that. So that was my first article. And they make the mistake to tell me, well, mi casa es su casa. I took it literally and I was there the next day. You know?
They couldn't get rid of you.
No, well, one of the editors, when I went out literally with I remember exactly, then they were paying $50 per page for art and $50 per page for script.
Yeah.
So I got $200, you know. And
Better than that $1 from back
was
from
like,
Mexico.
whoa. But what happened is they told me, well, come and bring another article. And I told them, like what? They said, well, you have a couple of gags on motorcycle cops. Do something about motorcycle cops. I went to the hotel. I didn't sleep. I worked all night long. And at 8 o'clock next day, there I am with another.
They said we
100
didn't
gags.
mean it so soon.
No, but they did buy it, you know.
Yeah.
And also, I had so much. Well, to make the story short, because we can talk here for hours, is that
That's okay.
the first issue that my work appeared on Mad, had the cover was my idea. I had the marginals in about 20 of them. And
How does that pay? How does he get paid for that? If they pay by the page, does he just submit like 1 page filled with marginals and then they divide it up?
Are you the one who started those marginals? Was that your idea to do them? I'm sure you all know what we're talking about. Sergio does these little drawings in the margins of Mad Magazine, which are known all over the world. Did they tell you to do that, or did you suggest that?
I suggested.
Really?
What they had on the old Mads, there were little.
The little text things. That's why I shook my head no. Not that I thought there was people before him, but they would do the little bars of text, and it would be like little jokes of text all throughout the magazine. And some of them, there were little drawings, but not nearly as detailed as Sergio would do.
Signs related to movies. They were very clever. But every time I ask or Nick or Jerry DeFugio, the editors, Nick Meglin, I ask them what it means, and says, well, did you see that movie? And says, no. Well, then it won't make any sense to you. And then I will point another one. It were puns on words that they were very old and they didn't make any sense. So I asked them, why don't we make drawings? And they told me it couldn't be possible to have pantomime cartoons so small without any words. So I says, yes, no. So I did it. I said, well, we run them until you run out of ideas. And so far it's been 30 years, every issue without missing one.
So the whole thing was just your idea.
Well, yeah, for the drawings, yes.
And it's certainly one of the most popular features in Mad Magazine. I think
Is
that's
there
great.
anybody who could rival Sergio's volume of work in Mad Magazine? If you add up all the little marginals, and I mean every issue, it got to the point where every issue he had at least 2 pages for a mad look at, and then every single issue without fail also the marginals. I wonder.
Still get people who find it for first time and says, oh, I didn't know they have to go back to all the issues to look for them.
Well, and what about what you're doing today, Sergio? What are you doing mostly today?
Well, I still
care, I
do
wanna
Mad.
know.
I'm doing the pages. I'm doing pocket books once a year, and I'm doing Brew, which is the monthly comic. And right there, I have about 14 hours a day work. I do some cartoons for syndication also, like the astronauts. And this cartoon does a background with a fireman.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a weekly page that gets published as a filler up in some of the European groups.
Well, you're pretty
European.
big in Europe. You know, it's a funny thing, speaking of Europe, with all the work you do, luckily you're so fast that you still find time. You've been around the world a lot of times, haven't you?
Oh, yes, yes.
Are there
I don't
others
care
that
about
got-
this.
Zealand, the destination hall stuff, and we go to, we've been in Africa, you know, they couldn't even go swim. This is what happens. Is they have this selection for aquatic ballet, and all the girls that they didn't want any of the boys. They said, I'm going to swim. So I
Many artists and writers, too, either to have a little
All right, we're gonna zoom fast forward a little bit. What does he do over there? Is
Funny
he gonna
way or something?
meme
yes,
him?
but it would be like the thing when you're
Yeah.
pulling from a rope, an invisible rope, and you go suddenly like that.
Great,
you know,
that's
like-
great right there.
And they're pulling you away from
Yeah.
it. Hey, wait a minute.
You see, so we weren't kidding when he said he had been a meme.
No, it's a lot of fun. It's difficult for television because you already have like a glass of it. That's why you never see pantomime on television. See, when you see it in person, you can fake everybody like they have a glass thing that they're moving around.
Yeah, yeah.
But the glass is there on the television, so
Oh,
it
I see what
automatically
you mean.
breaks the
Yeah,
whole
yeah. I
thing.
never thought of that. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, anyway, we got a little bit of acting out of you. See, I didn't want people to think that what I say is
That was really good, by the way. That like, I don't know. That was like, I liked that.
isn't the gospel. you
I've
see.
been acting also the whole time. have
I
to
know it.
confess.
Yeah. You've been trying to act as if you're interested also. Okay, on to the drawing board. What do you say?
Here we go.
Hey, Maestro, now
That's a
we've got
sick
the
transition.
best part of the show coming up. At least it's the best for me because you're going to do all the work and I'll just stand and watch you. And
I'm gonna look up
what could
real
be
quick
better than that?
where
huh?
this was.
Be fun.
Listen, Sergio, you know, for so many years, people have said what a fast artist you are. Are you really that fast? Give a demonstration of how fast you
For
draw.
instance, if I
huh?
had to draw,
Oh, wow. Hey, oh, my.
see, you have
Look
to draw like
at
that.
that.
See, that's how a serious guy have to draw, you know. But
Sure.
in a
Now,
cartoon-
let's stop kidding around, huh?
No, a serious artist would draw like this if I had to draw down. See, this would.
What's taking you so long?
Well, because it's just generic cartoon, you know. I mean, it's,
Son of a gun.
well, the difference is when an artist that draws the serious comics drawing, let's say, a hand. Well, the hand has to look like a hand. The guy has to study anatomy, and the hand has to have certain proportions, you know.
Right.
But when you're drawing a cartoon hand, this is a hand.
Yeah.
See, or this is a hand.
Funny thing is, I
So
think
this
this looks more like my hand than that one does.
It's just faster. Cartooning lends to speed.
Now, you do mostly
That's
cartoons. How
crazy.
would you do, this ought to be fun, how would you do a superhero if you were doing one?
Well, first I will start with a
Well-
with a generic face, which is cartoon face.
Well, first, Stanley Lieber. That's Stan Lee's real name. He's done superheroes. Surely you must know. I do want to see. Chuck Jones used to act the cartoons out before he drew. That'd be a cool thing to see. All right, I looked this up real quick. Comic Book Greats is a 1991 documentary series hosted by Stan Lee, produced by the Starber Home Video, Stan Lee serving as 13 episodes. Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, Wills Protasio, Sergio Aragones, Chris Claremont, Bob Kane, John Romita Sr., John Romita Jr., and Will Eisner. But where did it... I want to know where they showed it. That's what I care about. Anyway, you guys don't care that about.
You know, confidence high. Then I will have to give him a cape because all superheroes have a cape, and then big muscles.
Those are big muscles.
Well,
I should have known.
Cartoon form of big muscles. Then I've got to give him some tights. You know, and then very skinny legs, because all my cartoons have skinny legs, you know. And then he will be grabbing a villain, you know, like this, and the villain will look kind of like this, you know.
Oh, that's terrific. Do you, when you work at
Big
home,
smile.
is this the way you draw? I mean, do you sit at a board like this with a magic marker?
No,
or do
no,
you-
no.
This
I-
is just for the show.
Yeah, you have to draw much smaller.
Yeah.
You know, you draw
Do you draw actual size? You don't draw it the size that it's in the book.
Double size.
Double the size it is in the book.
There's a cartoon on that side that I do for Mad Magazine.
You know, I'd like to show this. This is one of the funniest things I have ever seen.
Yeah, that's the size I draw the cartoon.
Okay.
This is
so
cool.
this is the actual size you draw.
I find
But
this stuff
besides
so
being an
interesting. It's
example
like
of the actual
artists.
size, I've just got to show this gag. Now here is obviously a woman who's been captured by cannibals, and they're gonna cook her in a pot, right? Okay.
We've
now
seen
that's
this.
a very tragic rendering, and we're all worried as we look at that, and we wonder what's going to happen. Luckily, here's somebody like Tarzan who hears the call, and he's obviously coming to help. And here's the punchline. This is the gag. He's standing in line with the other natives holding his knife and fork. I mean, I think that's just great. That is a typical Aragones. And I think it's a great example of how you, as a cartoonist, are a writer because you dreamed up the gag. I mean, you wrote the gag as well as drew it.
And you don't need any words for it.
You surely don't.
The pantomime will express the whole thing.
But that's one of my favorites.
I think you mean pantomime, Sergio, pantomime.
But that's the size I draw. And also because of the cleanliness and the sharpness of the line, you have to draw always double. The only thing these things is so you can capture, for instance, when we're talking about expressions, and you try to tell somebody about a cartoon expression, then you can go from a very subdued face that has no expression whatsoever.
God, that's so good.
Face.
Like, look. I just want to see that again. Like the eyeball is so cool.
About a cartoon expression, then you can go from a very subdued face that has no expression whatsoever, and then to a surprise face, for instance, you know, like, whoa, the super exaggeration in cartoon that is so necessary, you know, or laughter, you know, you so like, you have to go all the way around the total exaggeration, a little tear coming out. So expression is what makes a cartoon. If you don't get expression, for instance, a guy is sleeping, you know, little nose, you know, the hand like a little hand going like this. You see, it gets like, yeah. And the same expression can be done with any animal. If you're drawing a human being, but if you're drawing a dog, and you want to make him laugh, but it's the same thing, you know.
Dogs laugh like people laugh.
In cartoon and yes,
Sure they do.
birds.
Dude, that's so great.
You give them the teeth and everything.
Yes, because it's a cartoon. You see, cartoons have
Wow.
a great advantage that you can draw anything you want, and it won't make a difference. If a serious comic book artist is drawing an elephant, and if he doesn't look like an elephant, he's going to be considered a bad artist. In
That is so cool. Wow. You guys got to watch this. Has anybody else seen this? You guys never answered that. Hold on, somebody texted me. My bad. Gosh, that's so, like, makes you want to try to draw. It makes me want to try to do, it's like when I see somebody actually do it, it's like, oh, that's how you do it. I did also the one with Kurtzman and Davis together. Stan Lee did that. This is great. Somebody sent it in to me. I can't remember who though, but it's been like open on my browser for like months. Yeah, this is like, I don't know, just like, oh, Honk Steady did. All right, thank you. He sends me everything.
The drawing makes no difference.
Well,
it's a joke.
You have to draw something with a trunk and big ears and stumpy legs, and it'll be an elephant.
Right. But that doesn't mean that if you are starting your career, you have to look at a lot of elephants to understand their principle. You know, I mean, their mass, their volume, their
But, you know, it's a feeling. And to me, it's just like when you were talking about being a clown. You remember when you were a swimming clown?
Yeah.
You have to.
It's crazy. I mean, like, I know at this point he's been doing this for like 30 years. But it's like, it's crazy that he's just able to do this so quickly. Here, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to switch to the browser. So here's, listen, I'm like hooked on the, got too many cords. What do we got? All right, so Comic Book Greats is a 91 documentary series hosted by Stan Lee, produced by, you know what, maybe I'll just go to the wiki and not read the fucking AI thing. Here we go. Episodes, Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Sergio, Overkill with Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld, interview with Harvey Kurtzman and Jack Davis. That's going to be next up. I got to find that. How to Create a Comic Book with Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld. Chris Claremont, The Romitas, Bob Kane, Jim Lee. That dude's cool. Will Spertasio, Will Eisner. This looks, I want to know, like, oh, look at that. Harvey Kurtzman, Jack Davis. Man. These are just like, I think screenshots. Okay, they don't have that much information on it. I guess it was like you just had to order the tapes or something. 2 seasons, 13 episodes. But it doesn't say like where it aired. Original air date. I don't understand like where this TV show was. But yeah, I mean, like the people who are on it. This is the 3rd episode. Okay, the whole first season and the first 4 episodes are just like Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld with Sergio stuck in the middle. Then the next one, Harvey Kurtzman, How to Draw a Comic with Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld again. Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld were, what, in 92? They had left Marvel. Stan Lee wasn't associated with Marvel, so I think he was like probably pretty stoked to like, you know, help them at Image. But those dudes were making so much money. The Romitas, and then a compendium. They also characters created by Stan Lee. That's got to be a controversial wiki, right? Hold on, we'll go back to here. What the fuck does that mean? Antonio Prohías was born in the 4th grade. I don't know what that means. Kurtzman and Davis next stream. Yeah, I'll have to find it, but yes. I want to watch more of this one though. Are you guys cool with that? I'm enjoying this. Oh, what is fucking crazy about this? I was saying, I know he's been doing it for 30 years or more at this point, but it's like just to see him know how to draw like the folds in the neck. There's like this weird fold right here where the rear leg is. It's crazy. It's crazy they can just do that fast.
To be a good swimmer in order to be able to look funny, just like a rodeo clown has to be a really good rodeo star.
Who the fuck is Stan Lee? Why is he pronouncing words like this? I hear you're miming. Or go to, I'm a rodeo clown.
In order to do what he does. Now, it seems to me
rodeo.
You've got to really know what an elephant looks like in order to do a cartoony elephant.
Yes.
The same with a boat, the same with a man, the same with anything.
Well,
so it's not quite as easy as it looks. You make it look incredibly easy, I must say.
You have to learn perspective. For that doing the balance, you have to learn
perspective. That's what I don't have.
The houses look like a period. Then you can redraw it. When a lot of people say, "Well, draw a train." Yeah. Well, the first thing I do is go through
rodeo
book
meme
of trains to look how a train looks like. Then sometimes I build a model of a train, or I go on to look at the train. You have to get into how a train works. Then you invent your own train, because now you know the elements of how they function. You start from the front, you know they have a little light over here, or that light sometimes is here, and then they have a a big
Cow catcher.
cow catcher, and then
Yeah.
they have two steam things that propels the wheels, and they have two little wheels. Then they have a chimney. So you are talking to yourself to describing that locomotive. See, but you have seen that locomotive before many times, because you have to draw it. You see.
That's just insane. So then what we said before was right. You have to know it before you can do it in a cartoony way. You've got to know what the thing is.
There's no magic in this. The magic comes with a lot of practice. And
Well,
when people say, oh, Sergio, you can do it because you're a genius. This is, you are underestimating 8 hours a day for the last 20 years of practicing and many hours in the library. That's the genius part of it.
Dude, I think that's so great. I feel like that's, I've always, when I was a kid, I loved drawing. And then I just was like, you know what? I'm just not good at it. I didn't have that perspective of like, no, you have to fucking work at it. You have to be working at it constantly in order to be doing it. 8 hours a day. This is a job. This is what I have to do. I'm gonna listen to that again.
This, oh, Sergio, in this. The magic.
Do it in a cartoony
There is
way.
no
You've got to
magic
know
in
what
this.
the thing is.
There's no magic in this. The magic comes with a lot of practice. And
Well,
when
There's no magic in this. The magic comes with a lot of practice.
people say, oh, Sergio, you can do it because you're a genius. This is, you are underestimating 8 hours a day for the last 20 years of practicing and many hours in the library. That's the genius part of it, is that you research and you practice.
Well, maybe you'd be more comfortable with the word talent rather than genius, but there are many, many cartoonists, and many fine and good cartoonists, but there are very few who draw like you. And I have the greatest respect for anybody who has his own style, who can do something that other people do, but he does it in his own individualistic way. Now, I don't know anybody who draws as quickly as you, and I don't know anybody who really draws the way you draw. So I think if that isn't genius, it's certainly talent.
No. It's just a lot of
A
practice.
rare talent.
A lot of practice, a lot of practice.
And of course, this is as nice as I'll ever get.
And that's, honestly, that seems like, it just seems like genuine humility. Like Stan just tried to push him on that a little bit, and he was just like, no, it's fucking practice. That's like,
For you, because the cameras are on you and everything. When we're alone, we can really get on it, and I'll tell you all the mistakes you made over there and so forth. But that train was really great. You're not slowing down. You can keep doing. Hey, do you remember once?
how long, you've got to be obsessed. How long did Kyle grind before he got as good as he is? Yeah, and here's the thing. Kyle is still grinding. When I have time to like sit around and do nothing, I sit around and do nothing. I'm pretty sure that when Kyle has time to like sit around, he's drawing. That's the difference between like somebody who can work as a professional cartoonist and somebody who's just a dork who talks about cartooning. I mean, that's it. I came up with an idea of a cartoon and I did like a little rough sketch of it, and then I've done nothing with it. Because that's my attitude, right? I enjoy like just doing little doodles, but I just don't really have the drive to like really, really actually be good at it because I'm not willing to put in the work. I do for other things, but just not that.
We were at a roast. I thought, was it for Harlan Ellison?
Harlan Ellison.
You remember?
Yes.
And I was one of the guests, and I made my little speech. And I saw you had a flipboard, an easel behind that.
Where is Kyle? Where's that devil Kyle tonight? I think he's busy. I invited him on. He was like, I'm too busy. I can't make it on. So if he's too busy to be on, he's too busy to watch, unfortunately. Hey, he would want all of you guys right now to make sure that you hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment. If you guys have been lurking, please consider just leaving a comment. Say just a comment that's a period. Try that. Just dip your toe in, that's all. Say, comment, I'm dipping my toe, just to see how it feels.
And all the time we were all making our speeches, you were sketching, and it was the most frustrating thing.
Oh, Daniel Killalaki, thank you. I appreciate that.
Because the audience could see what you were sketching, but none of us on stage could.
Well,
what is it you were sketching
I
during
was
that
sketching
roast?
whatever people were talking about. Like, if you were talking this story in the roast, I will be drawing, you trying to see me, I will be here drawing that anecdote that you just described, I will be just doing this as you're talking about the story.
Yeah, there we were at the roast,
and then
you were standing back there with an easel.
And now you know what you were doing. You'll be
trying to look back. Oh, you didn't get my strong macho chin in there, but that's okay. Hey, that's
Sure
that is great. That
and
is
then
terrific.
the other people, they were science fiction. They were talking. And there I was drawing.
Now I'm going to show you.
That was what I was doing over there. Just
Don't throw it away yet. I want to show you how opportunistic I am. Could I see how you sign your name? What does your autograph look like? Okay, now instead of throwing it over there, attaboy, Stan, I think.
yes.
Stan will do it. Yeah, we're going to put this one over here, and if anyone comes near it, they're dead. Thank you, Sergio. All right, the rest of the show is all downhill. I got what I wanted. Let's see now. There's got to be something else that we can.
Gru?
Stan's a string bean.
Oh my God, of course. Gru, your biggest, most popular thing today.
Well, this is the.
I mean, a mad look at, right? Am I biased? I might be biased, but I think a mad look at is his actual most popular, most impressive.
That character. It's very simple to
Spelled
draw.
Groo.
Yeah, Gru.
Marvel comic
Good job, Stan. And you even pronounced it right.
book, written and drawn by you with copy by Mark Evanier, and it's been a great seller now. How long have you been doing Gru?
We're in issue 84, so
Right.
that's one a month.
84 months. Has it been that long?
That's
Wow.
right, without missing an issue.
Now, Gru is a cartoon version of really Conan the Barbarian, but he's a little bit dumber,
Yeah, it is.
more lovable, perhaps.
It is on the genre of Conan. Is a barbarian. Has nothing to do with Conan.
No, I know.
But it is on the same.
Good recovery, Stan. It's basically a joke version of Conan. Well, it has nothing to do with Conan. Well, yeah, I know. Oh.
Same genre like any other people who live on the jungle is on the genre of Tarzan, even if he's not a. And what I've been trying to do with Gru is to show that violence doesn't pay. He's an ignorant barbarian who doesn't know how to read and write. That's why he never succeeds. And
I like those 2-page things he's done, like Bunk's picked up. Yeah, well, hold on. Let me show you. Like this, right? Like, that would be, I think that was a poster. But like he would do those things like the music concert where it was, I call them splash pages. Not really the best word for them, but that's like what they call them in comic books, is like when you have that 2-page spread where it's like something crazy. The splash page, yeah, those are great. And that's what they were describing earlier with like this little world he built within Gru with all of the details just like crammed full.
all the issues here at the end, he loses whatever he's trying because he's not educated. He just fights.
And basically, you see, people think of it as just a funny strip, a funny comic book. They don't realize the deep significance because you're also showing how important education is in the world in which we live. And they don't realize it's a great social document and a commentary on today's political situation and social mores and so forth. And they don't realize you're more of a social scientist than a cartoonist.
It's a good very.
I can't tell if he's like fucking with him, if he's trolling him, or if he's just brown nosing him. That's pretty. That's
Go for it. I'm doing an issue right now that criticizes television of the people spending too much time on it, but they were not television on the time of Gru.
So how are you doing it? How are you
puppets.
getting? Oh,
It's a
that's
puppet
great.
show.
That's great.
So the puppet show works as a.
And you have couch potatoes watching
Yes,
the puppets?
everything. Yes, the people who want instead of doing their own life, they
Yeah.
are
yeah. I
watching
wonder how long it would
So
take him
puppets,
to do
you
a
have to
splash
go into
page.
research on how the puppets are manipulated, get a book on Bunraku and Indian, and by the time you're doing research, you get educated in another field.
I mean, it's like, yeah, okay. So this is sort of just like based on what I've heard. It's like probably the drawing he could do in a half hour, but I think he spends a lot more time thinking about it and maybe like doing little practice things about like. He talked about that with that Gru splash page. I may have skipped through it, so sorry about that. But he was saying that he'll think, like, he'll try to like put himself in there and be like, if I was in this little village, like, what are the things I would want to see? And so it's like yeah, maybe it'd take him a half hour to draw it, but it'd probably take longer for him to like think about it and really consider everything that he wants to incorporate.
Which is wonderful. Also.
Let's see what the puppets look. Can you do a puppet?
No, of course.
Want me to show you how, or can you get it right out of your own head?
Let's suppose that this is the puppeteer, you know, it's a guy who looks like this, and then he would put a puppet under his arm here, and it would be a rod puppet.
You know what's awful about you? The fact that you're so reluctant to do any artwork. It's just so difficult to get you to.
Well, it's complicated.
I'm so lucky that you're in the mood right now. Oh, that's great.
I'm sorry,
This is the
so slow.
puppeteer. This is the puppet.
Well,
looks like one of the Punch and Judy's. He's Punch, right?
In a way, yeah.
That type.
And the problem with cartooning is that there's no difference between a cartoon and a puppet. Both are cartoons.
Yeah.
If we were doing a satire or something, this character should be very seriously drawn. You know? But you see how simple...
To me, these are seriously drawn. These make a great statement.
There you are.
That's
Dude.
terrific.
Stan Lee is like, I don't know, he's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know another beautiful
Yeah, he starts
thing
like
about
from the
doing
nose and
cartoons
works.
like this,
It's
you
like
can really
nose,
make any
mouth,
statement you
eye,
want within the
hair.
framework of these.
Like that's the thing. Like when you watch him do it, when I mentioned earlier, like, oh, that's how he does it. It's not how I would have anticipated. I don't know how I thought he did it, but it's like it's really cool to see him actually do it. It's like really flows. It flows really, really well.
Silly stories. I mean, you can have you can have a story where he comments on anything. The theme of it could be against bigotry and prejudice.
That's
it could
right.
be for.
I remember seeing a couple of videos from this series 30 years ago at the local video store. Yeah, I think that must have been what they were. It's like you would just go rent them or something.
Something about homelessness,
Well,
and you do it in a humorous way, and that gets the point across so beautifully.
Yes, the issue I did about the homeless, it was about a certain mayor of a town who says, please bring all the homeless to my town, we will take care of them. Gru literally takes the word and brings the whole caboodle over there. And it was, I'd done issues about garbage, about...
What was the theme of the garbage one?
Filling a canyon.
Filling a canyon with garbage?
That Gru goes to the...
I'm gonna fast forward
classes.
because, unfortunately, I gotta get going pretty soon, and I want to see some more of his drawings.
Minima. It's important
You're
to say.
in nothing. That we should not have garbage. That's the best answer to the garbage problem.
It's just, it's not a synonym, but it's just...
and the problems in in cities and everything. I think most people looking at your drawings would never know that Sergio Aragones is really quite a deep thinker and really quite concerned with issues today. And I think it's wonderful. And I think so many cartoonists and
Again, I don't know if Stan is gassing him up or fucking with him right now.
writers are. And it's so great if you can get your ideas across without making it seem as though you're preaching, where it's done in an entertaining way. Now, who's this guy?
Political.
A politician.
Politicians
He'd have to be.
See, all politicians are drawn one way, all militaries are drawn one way, you know, like.
Yeah, exactly. That's like how I felt about that other one he was saying, where he was like, I forget what he said. But yeah, it is a little backhanded. Like, wow, you look at his artwork, you might think he's a simpleton. But considering that, he's really quite eloquent. Like, excuse me? For a Spanish speaker, you're pretty good at expressing yourself.
See, authority. Everything is in a cartoon.
They're symbols.
Everything is a cliche.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
the problem is that we cannot get out of the cliches. And Mortlet in pantomime cartoon.
Yes,
where we talk
he
about
did.
feminism
Absolutely,
and
he loved to
feminism,
hear his own
people
voice.
ask me, why don't you draw a female doctor? So, well, the very simple is that we still associate a woman in uniform as a nurse. So when I'm doing a gag and I says, well, I'm going to be firm, I'm going to, instead of be a doctor, I'm going to use a female doctor. I don't use words. So suddenly when you see the gag, now your attention is directed to this character, why is a woman, and you lose the gag. because you're paying attention to this
I see
woman being a doctor.
You mean if you get away from the cliche in a gag, it diverts the reader's attention?
That's right.
Yeah.
In this particular case, I cannot get rid of that cliche. Society has to get rid of that cliche. Give me a more normal ground to work with, and when everybody understands that women are equal, then everybody will understand my joke because I dress the doctor as a woman.
That's really interesting. That's really interesting. I mean, like, just thinking about, I mean, it explains so many of his drawings too, like how the general has like these, you know, like the epaulets, you know, this little shoulder things. It is all cliche. They're all like, I guess like you might call them like tropes now of these different characters. Wow, that's fascinating.
See? Now take notice, society. Don't anybody try to change this man's work until you clean up your own act first. Remember that.
When you're drawing a cartoon, okay, a broken nose indicates bad guy.
That's
Why?
right.
Because,
that's right. Or a cauliflower ear.
Yeah. If I draw a cartoon like this,
He's not a bad guy.
No, he's an accountant.
That's right.
But the guy could be the cruelest, meanest, murderous guy in the world. If we take a guy with a nose like this and a big chin like this,
he's a pug.
He's a pug. He's a policeman. If I change his helmet, he'll be anything you want because you associate this with strength. That guy could be a doctor.
And the funny thing is, this guy could be an accountant. This guy could be a gangster.
Well,
but all of us think in terms of symbols and cliches, don't we?
A soldier.
Yeah.
A policeman, you know.
Anything tough.
A boxer, you know.
Wow, that was the coolest one. That's the coolest one. With like the little flat head as being like the boxer and the cauliflower ear that he captured.
The cliches
Sergio,
is how we work.
Why is it in movies when you have a hero, you make him handsome? And when you try to get a villain, you get somebody who's unpleasant and ugly looking. Now, we know in real life, most villains look like you. They're lovely looking and they're evil and cruel. In fact, I've never trusted you since the minute I've met you. And as magnificent looking as I am, I might be a villain too. You never know, right?
Point in case, yes.
But it is true. I wonder why we all think in such a cliched way. Is it
Typecasting.
because of the cartoonists?
Typecasting. They know we are the cartoonists.
Don't forget
because the other
cartoon for us here, have you? And the whole world.
These
is
are
waiting to see
fascinating.
what an
I think next
Aragones
time I
female
do this,
looks like.
Well,
there are
especially
many types of them, I know.
especially considering it's going to be, I'm going to try to do the Jack Davis, Harvey Kurtzman one. I think I just got to make sure I have the time to watch it right at the start.
The females are anything you want. I mean, there could be a female.
Dude, he's so good at drawing babes.
More in
No,
in
what?
style of a cartoon female. You know?
Now, how about a glamour girl?
Well, the glamour girl just put a little pocket note. You know?
It is incredible how you get the whole feeling in 2 lines. That's just great. I promised I wouldn't use the word wonderful, but that's just wonderful. Now, it's a little girl female.
Well, any age female have to read.
If only it didn't come to you with such difficulty. You know, the awful thing
there's an
about
old
what
lady.
you're doing, people are going to be watching you, and they're going to go running to their desk and taking a magic marker and figuring, Jesus, I never realized I can draw like that.
So yeah, I got to get going. But guys, like, holy smokes. Like, what a great video. I'll put the link of this video in the description. So if you're watching this not now, you'll be able to see it. And you know what? How about this? I'll drop this in the chat right now. And then you can check this out. Watch all the parts I skipped. This is great stuff. You guys, I am going to be heading out. So now's the time to say goodnight. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Remember, hit like, hit subscribe, leave comments either in the live chat or down below. It really does mean a lot to me. Yeah, it does. That's all. If you think this is worth anything more than, you know, the time you already dedicate to it, Patreon or channel membership on YouTube. Anyway, saying goodbye to some people. Daniel Kilaki, ciao for now. Toodaloo to you. Vanessa, goodbye. Johnny Tong, Harvey Esquire, C Cabbage, Honk Steady, Me Too Big, Sketchy Works, Harvey Esquire. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I really do appreciate your support. And toodaloo.